3 smart cooking ideas from Grandma. Use warm milk for mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes, the quintessential comfort food, a side dish that evokes feelings of home, warmth, and satisfying fullness. But achieving truly exceptional mashed potatoes, the kind that melt in your mouth and leave you wanting more, often feels elusive. Many home cooks struggle with lumps, gluey textures, or a bland flavor. The secret, passed down through generations, isn't about fancy ingredients or complicated techniques. It's about the temperature of your milk. Using warm milk instead of cold is a game changer. The science behind this simple trick lies in the starch content of potatoes. When potatoes are cooked, their starch granules swell and absorb liquid. Cold milk shocks these granules, causing them to tighten and become more prone to clumping. This results in a mashed potato texture that is often dense and pasty. Warm milk, however, gently encourages the starch granules to continue releasing their starch, creating a smoother, more cohesive blend. The warmth allows for a more gradual and even absorption, preventing the formation of those frustrating lumps. But how warm is warm? You don't need to scald the milk, just bring it to a temperature that's comfortably warm to the touch, around 110 to 120 degrees Fahrenheit, 43 to 49 degrees Celsius. You can achieve this by gently heating it in a saucepan on the stovetop, or even microwaving it in short bursts, stirring in between. Don't boil the milk, as this can alter its flavor and texture. Beyond temperature, the type of milk matters. Whole milk provides the richest, creamiest results due to its higher fat content. However, 2% milk works well too, and even non-dairy alternatives like oat milk or almond milk can be used, though they may yield a slightly different texture. Consider adding a knob of butter along with the warm milk for an extra layer of richness and flavor. The mashing process itself is also crucial. Avoid overworking the potatoes. Once they're cooked and drained, gently mash them with a potato masher or fork. An electric mixer can be used, but be extremely careful not to overmix, as this will release too much starch and result in gluey potatoes. Fold in the warm milk gradually, adding just enough to reach your desired consistency. Season generously with salt and pepper, and don't be afraid to experiment with other flavorings like garlic powder, chives, or a sprinkle of nutmeg. This isn't just about texture. Warm milk also enhances the flavor. The gentle warmth helps to meld the flavors of the potatoes, milk, and seasonings, creating a more harmonious and satisfying dish. So, the next time you're craving mashed potatoes, remember this simple, grandma-approved tip. It's a small change that makes a world of difference, transforming a simple side dish into a truly unforgettable experience. Prevent cake sticking with parchment paper. You've lovingly baked a cake, the aroma filling your kitchen with sweet anticipation. You carefully invert the pan, and, fortunately, there's a simple, foolproof solution that's been relied upon for generations: parchment paper. Parchment paper isn't just a convenience. It's a fundamental baking technique. Unlike wax paper, parchment paper is coated with silicone, giving it a naturally non-stick surface. This prevents the cake from adhering to the pan, ensuring a clean release every time. But why does this work so effectively? It's about creating a barrier. The silicone coating prevents the proteins in the cake batter from bonding directly with the metal of the pan. There are several ways to utilize parchment paper for optimal results. The most common method is to cut a circle of parchment paper to fit the bottom of your cake pan. Trace the pan's bottom onto the parchment, then cut slightly inside the line for a perfect fit. For extra insurance, especially with delicate cakes, you can also cut strips of parchment to line the sides of the pan. Lightly grease the pan before adding the parchment. This helps the parchment adhere and prevents it from sliding around during baking. Beyond preventing sticking, parchment paper offers several other benefits. It makes cleanup incredibly easy. Simply lift the cake out of the pan, and the parchment comes with it, leaving the pan spotless. No more scrubbing or soaking. It also helps to maintain the cake's shape. A stuck cake often tears or loses its form during removal. Parchment paper ensures a smooth, even release, preserving the cake's beautiful presentation. This technique isn't limited to cake pans. Parchment paper is invaluable for baking cookies, breads, and even roasting vegetables. It prevents food from sticking to baking sheets, making cleanup a breeze and ensuring even cooking. While silicone baking mats are a reusable alternative, parchment paper remains a classic for a reason. It's inexpensive, readily available, and consistently delivers reliable results. It's a small investment that saves you time. A little parchment paper goes a long way in ensuring baking success and a beautifully presented dessert. Add salt to boiling eggs, a simple, nutritious, and versatile food. Perfect for breakfast, salads, deviled eggs, or a quick snack. But achieving perfectly boiled eggs, those that are consistently cooked through, easy to peel, and free from unsightly cracking, can be surprisingly challenging. The secret, often whispered from grandmother to granddaughter, is to add a pinch of salt to the boiling water. The core of the issue lies in the very nature of the eggshell. Contrary to popular belief, eggshells aren't solid, impermeable barriers. They are porous, riddled with microscopic holes that allow liquids and gases to pass through. When you submerge an egg in boiling water, that water inevitably seeps into the shell, creating a gap between the shell membrane and the egg white. As the egg cooks and the proteins within coagulate, this water expands, forming a vacuum. This vacuum is the primary culprit behind the dreaded difficult-to-peel egg. The stronger the vacuum, the tighter the bond between the egg white and the shell, leading to ragged edges, broken yolks, and a general sense of culinary defeat. Adding salt to the boiling water doesn't just mask the problem, it actively addresses it. Salt increases the density of the water, making it more difficult for water to penetrate the porous eggshell in the first place. Think of it like trying to push a sponge into molasses versus water. The denser liquid offers more resistance. By reducing the amount of water entering the egg, the vacuum effect is significantly minimized, creating a looser bond between the egg white and the shell. Furthermore, salt helps to coagulate the egg white proteins more quickly. This means that the egg white sets faster, making it less likely to stick to the shell. The result? Eggs that slip out of their shells with ease. But how much salt is enough? You don't need a lot. About 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of salt per pot of water is sufficient. Adding the salt after the water comes to a boil is also important. Adding it before can potentially corrode your pot. Beyond preventing sticking, salt also helps to minimize cracking. The increased density of the salt water provides a more stable environment for the egg, reducing the stress on the shell during cooking. This is particularly helpful for eggs that are cold from the refrigerator. To further ensure easy peeling, immediately transfer the cooked eggs to an ice bath. This stops the cooking process and helps to shrink the egg white, creating even more space between the shell and the egg. This tip isn't just about convenience. It's about achieving consistently perfect results. No more struggling with stubborn shells or ending up with a mess of broken eggs. It's a simple, inexpensive trick that elevates a basic cooking task. So, the next time you boil eggs, remember this classic grandma tip. A pinch of salt can make all the difference. Thank you so much for watching. We truly appreciate your support and hope you found the content helpful. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing videos. See you next time.